How you doing, YouTube? Matt with Massive Beer Reviews back with yet another review. And we're going to be doing a beer that I love, that I haven't had in a very, very long time, and that is Koningshoeven's Bock. First off, Koningshoeven is La Trappe. La Trappe, from memory, I could be wrong, but La Trappe produced the beer just like every other Trappist beer. You know, it was the monks making the beer, yada, yada, yada. Well, it got to a point somewhere, I'm thinking, right around between 2000 and 2005. Somewhere in there, I started noticing all the La Trappe bottles said Koningshoeven instead of La Trappe. So I did a little research back then. And what I came up with is there was like, the breweries had like kind of like a, not a takeover, but they started to outsource some of the brewery help or something like that. And basically the people who do the whole Trappist stamp thing kind of got a little, their panties in a bunch and be like, well, you're not a Trappist beer, you're not La Trappe anymore, blah, 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 blah. So during that period of strife, I guess you would say, I guess they just threw Koningshoeven on the bottles instead of La Trappe. So if you are an old school beer-head and you've been drinking good beer for a long time, you're a Belgian fan, you would notice that switch over for a certain period of time. And then right around, like, I guess it would be maybe like 08, 010, right around there, everything just kind of flipped back to La Trappe. So we basically have a La Trappe Bock, or Koningshoeven Bock. This is because it's old. Dating-wise, I couldn't find any date code on this bottle whatsoever. But the person who I bought it off of said they are 2007, so I'm going to go with them because they know crap load of that beer. Anyway, so we have a 2007 Koningshoeven Bock Trappist Ale, brewed at Brewery Koningshoeven. 7% alcohol. So, you know, this is beginning of 2015, January. So, I mean, if this is 2007, depending on when it was produced, you're looking 3 to 4 to 7.5 years. 7% beer, 7.5 years old. It's kind of rolling the dice on this, but hey, I like old beer, so there you go. So that's what it said on the front of the bottle. On the back here, government warning stuff, yada, yada, yada. Trappist stamp is on here. And a little bit of information, story time. On the side it says, since 1884, the monks of Koningshoeven have brewed Koningshoeven Trappist ales to support themselves. Made with traditional ingredients and age-old recipes, Koningshoeven's Trappist ales use the most modern, quality-controlled methods to produce beer. That is the perfect marriage of old and new. Fermentation takes place using a type of yeast which is most active between 62 and 68 degrees Fahrenheit. Type of fermentation is called top fermentation. Koningshoeven Trappist ales are made from carefully selected malts and hops and fermented with a strain of yeast unique to Koningshoeven. Each of the Koningshoeven Trappist ales bottles are conditioned for full, complex flavor and long shelf life. Unlike commercially produced unfiltered or filtered pasteurized beer, Koningshoeven Trappist ale can be aged like a fine wine. Store and serve cool. IBUs on here. That's kind of a weird one back then. 36 BUs, Brewing units, so IBUs. And it says taste the silence. I kind of like that. I don't know, something about that kind of does it for me. Label-wise, I cut my beer cloth on Belgian Trappist ales, so their labels do it for me. This one is no different. It's simple, classy, to the point. Love every bit of it. So there you go. Super excited. Super excited to give this a whirl. See what she has to offer. See if she's good. See if she's bad. See if she's indifferent. We will find out if we can actually get the cork off. Oh, there she goes. Thought she was going to be a little bit of an issue, but nope. Let's see. And it's a straight up Bock. It's not a double Bock, not a triple Bock. Supposedly a straight. Well, I've had it before. It's a Bock. Because a Bock's a real kind of beer. Anyway, super creamy top. Nice little cascading bubbles. And a nice color to it, too. I expected it to be a little bit darker than what it is. But it's got this nice I mean, it says unfiltered. It's not super, super cloudy, but it does have a nice density to it. Partially looking unfiltered, but yeah, it looks like a pretty damn nice beer. Looks like a nice box. Let's see what she smells like. There's age. It smells like an old beer in a good way. That's the first thing I get off the nose. Just it has that hearty, bready yeastiness that you expect, not just from Trappe Stills, but from Bock's. And a nice fruit. Not even like a dark fruit, almost like a plum, maybe. But it has that age to it. You can smell that almost dank mustiness. Yeah, but just like typical Belgian notes too. Just like you said, just like a plumminess to it. A little bit of dark fruitiness. Super fluffy. Yeah, it smells quite nice. It smells like an old Bock. And it is an old Bock, so it smells like what it's supposed to be. So I'm just going to dive right in and see what the sucker has. Cheers. It's nice. It's a bit past its prime. So it's starting to thin out a bit. But they are 07s. There you go. Yeah. So, yeah, but I like it. I like aged beer. So even beers that are a little bit past their prime, that past the prime taste kind of does it for me. So I'm still a fan of it. A bit thinner, you know, sometimes beers, well, sometimes, not always, but beers that get very old, they tend to start to thin out. It's happening to this, so it kind of lost a little bit of its, like, fluffiness, a little bit of its density. Still not thin, just thinner. It has that dank mustiness and slight umami, like, savoriness to it. It's not super bad. It's kind of like, if this was an apex of a beer, it was probably apex a year or so ago. So it's on the downswing, but it's not too far down the slope. So it's still a nice beer. And it tastes like a mix between a double and a triple with more fruitiness to it. So if you were to take a Koningshoeven or La Trappe double and triple and mix them together and just imagine a bit more fruitiness to it, pretty much what it tastes like. It's a really nice beer. I'm a fan. Rating wise, it's a weird one to rate because it is an aged beer, so I still rate aged beer, but it's like, you know, take that all with a grain of salt. So rating wise, I would give it like a 90. Just because for me personally, it takes me back. It's one of my favorite beers that I had back in the day, so I have a soft spot in my heart for it, so I'm probably skewing a little bit more because of that. And I also like age, so you got to take that for what it's worth. So 90 overall. Value and availability, skip over that. It's a freaking 7-year-old beer. If you can find it, pick it up. That's all I can say about that. So, yeah. Koningshoeven Bock. I mean, if you can get the newer ones, I still think this is produced. I think it kind of dropped off, but I think it's coming back. I know I'm positive La Trappe makes it. It's definitely worth a whirl, especially to have a traditional Trappe beer line produce a Bock, which is not what they typically do. Just to have that in general. So if you're a fan of Bocks, you should try it. If you're a fan of Belgian-style ales or Trappist ales, and you want to try something different from what they typically produce, it's definitely worth it. And if you're into good beer in general, I'm a big fan of La Trappe, the whole Koningshoeven line, so I think they're great. They're double, triple, and quad is fantastic. Their barrel-aged quad is off the hook. Their barrel-aged Isidore is off the hook. They just make really good beers. There's like a semi-progressive Trappist brewery, if you can think. If any of them are like that, a lot of Trappist breweries stick to their guns. We make this beer, and this is the only beer we make. Koningshoeven or La Trappe, they barrel age stuff. They try different things. So kudos to them. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. If you did or you didn't, or somewhere in between, please leave a comment in the comment section below. If you'd like to check us out anywhere else on the internet, you can. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Massive Beers in all three of those places. Untapped too. You can check us out there. Massive Beers also. And yeah, another review down. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a really nice old beer right now. And hopefully you see you next time. Cheers.